Welcome to the Capula podcast, The Ultimate Exchange. I'm Leanne Barrow, the Resource Manager, and today I'm going to be joined by Steve Tellwright, the People and Quality Director. We'll be talking about all things Capula and what it's like to work here. Hi Steve, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks Leanne. All good.
So we're here today to talk about Capula and the growth. So over the last couple of years, we've grown considerably. We continue to grow. However, we're aware that there are some of our competitors out there who are bigger than us. So what do you think is Capula's unique offering?
Yeah, there are bigger competitors than out in the market than Capula, but remember Capula are part of EDF. EDF is a huge business, 80 billion quid across a few countries, and being part of that group gives us that major play. Now, not all EDF subsidiaries are run the same way, and Capula is only a small part of it. But we're very fortunate in that some of those big things that we want from EDF are available to us. So that's one thing. You would be part of a very big business. But Capula's got its own unique offer anyway. You know, that when you come to Capula, you're given a huge amount of autonomy. Yeah. You're given a huge amount of a trust to go and do the job that you want to be employed to do. Also, a big thing with Capula is that you work end-to-end projects. So you'll be in at the beginning designing the solution with the client, and you'll be in at the end when you commission it and see it put to work. In some big businesses, you only do a small part of that, and there's lots of handovers, and you only get to do a certain bit. So one of the things for experienced engineers is that you get to work a full turnkey solution from start to finish. And I think a lot of people like that because they get closure, they see it, they see the whole solution delivered. So I think Capula in that respect, and of course being agnostic with the technologies that we use. If you go to certain businesses, they'll only use one type of technology, one coding language. We use all the technologies that are available, whatever the client specifies, and we therefore train people on a very, very wide range of kits. Yeah. If you look at our SWEP matrix, our suitably qualified and experienced personnel matrices for training, there's 500 or 600 different courses that they can go on. So the what's the word I'm looking for? The breadth that you can get in Capula could be considerably more day to day than it is in a bigger business.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for us is this. You know, it didn't occur to me the other day, but it's occurred to me now, is this, turnkey solution thing, where you're in at the start, you're in at the end, and the agnostic nature of the technologies that we use. Because if you work for Siemens, you're only going to use Siemens technology. Yeah. If you work for us, you're going to use Siemens, Rockwell, Schneider, Allen Bradley, whoever, and it will be down to the client to dictate. So in terms of an experienced engineer, they get to use a lot of platforms and different technologies.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's something that we see on the recruitment side, that when we are recruiting people, that quite often they have just got that small segment of knowledge, and that's why they are looking at us to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen people come in and we've said to them, can you do this? And they go, oh, I've never done that before, because in my job, I only do this little bit of it. And we don't want that. We want people to be rounded, skills, can do some hardware, maybe design, but can also do some software programming. For them, that keeps the job fresh and interesting, learning new skills. And it means they don't stagnate on one particular technology. So there's lots of things like that Capula can give you that maybe some of the bigger companies wouldn't.
And so in the environment that we're in at the moment, we know that when we're speaking to people, quite often they've got 2-3 offers on the table. What would be your advice to them when they're considering Capula's offer against other people's?
Yeah, that's very difficult, isn't it? Because you're talking about their individual desires, hopes, wants, circumstances. And clearly a younger person who's got potentially some more financial challenges or personal challenges might look, that they want the money. I think it depends where you are in your career. What I would say about looking at Capula is don't look at just the monetary side of things, look at the whole thing, because it's not pleasant going to a workplace where the money's great, but you're in a toxic environment. You're not supported by your colleagues or by your leadership particularly. And we see a lot of people leaving businesses because of poor leadership, and that's generally the reason why people leave businesses. So we don't have that. Our attrition's extremely low, so we're doing something right. I think our attrition, for the last 12 months is only running at about 7%. So very, very confident in that the general offer that we give to people is solid and they enjoy working at Capula.
So what do you think makes it an attractive place to work? Thinking about two different ends of the spectrum, people who are just starting out in their career and also those seasoned professionals who are more senior in their career.
One of the things that our senior people like is actually training the young ones. So they like that mentoring aspect. There's some that don't, clearly, and that's fine. They don't have to do it. But there are a lot of seasoned engineers that want to pass on their knowledge, skill, their experience to the younger set. And we've seen, as we saw last year when we had 4 apprentices graduate, their mentors were as proud as they were, So there's a lot of senior engineers that like to be part of that development to the next generation. So I think they do get a lot out of that, both personally and professionally. And it's really rewarding when they get to see these kiddies come through and perform really, really well. For the younger people, it's the reverse, isn't it? They've got a really seasoned professional looking after them, teaching them things. It's one thing to learn the theoretical side of engineering, but it's another actually knowing how to fix it when it doesn't quite go to plan and the theory doesn't work. And that's what you want from an experienced principal or lead engineer, is somebody to say, that's great, but do it like this and you'll find you'll get a better result. So as long as that's not unsafe, clearly, but there are those nuances where the technology doesn't quite operate in the way that you want it to. And it's those people who've got the experience to know how to get round those snags that benefit young people. So they can go to the universities or the colleges where we send them for their training. But it's that on-the-job training. And I think we're seeing that in the results, aren't we? That to get 7 people all getting first-class honours degrees, we're seeing that ability to learn that theoretical stuff at university and then apply it. And it's the application, that applied solution that really does give us the benefit.
So we've spoken as well to the other business units, and they've spoken about the journeys that people have been on with them, about how they've grown, how they've developed, how they've learnt new technologies. How does the HR department support that continued learning?
So we've got quite a big L&D department for the size of the company, really. We're very fortunate that we've invested quite heavily in that. And we've got a learning and development manager, a technical trainer, some administrative support as well. And so we're able to do the whole life cycle for the recruitment, through their initial apprenticeship journey, through getting the mentoring that they need, through getting the pastoral care that they need as young people. Coming from college into work is quite a daunting step for them at age 18, 17, 18. And so by us being able to put an arm around them, give them an out, we've got mental health first aiders that help them through that first 6 or 8 months where they've got to juggle all the demands of their new job, the discipline that comes with that, the going to college, the learning, the delivering of assignments, learning all the safety aspects about the job. So there's a huge amount of stress placed on young people at age 18. Having a mentor, having a pastoral mentor as well, gives them that real confidence that actually they're not in it on their own. There are people that can help them. And I think our record is second to none. Our attrition for apprentices is virtually zero, which is great. And, we should be taking that level of care with them.
And thinking wider than Capula as well, we see lots in the press about companies talking about their corporate social responsibilities. For Capula, what does that mean and what initiatives are Capula getting involved in?
It's quite wide for Capula, actually. Since I joined, we've done extensive things. We contribute to the local society through, we've sponsored various events. We sponsor football teams. We actually have a committee that decide on where we spend our funding for those kind of things. And it's not left to the directors, it's left to the employee group to decide where we should fund that. So we do an awful lot of sponsorship. I sit on a number of boards, for instance, the Staffordshire Chamber of Commerce, the British Chamber of Commerce People Board. I do some work with tech skills, things like that. So I volunteer in those ways to give my time and expertise to other businesses. We have people who are affiliated to scout groups or football clubs or things like that, and we encourage that, and we help them to take the time that they need to help their clubs. So everybody gets 2 days volunteering per year without question, and some do a bit more than that. Yeah. So there's a wide range of stuff. And then we want to be a good neighbour, a good social neighbour in Stone. So we look at the events that are going on in Stone and where we can contribute to the wider society. Our apprenticeship offer is very solid as well. We look right the way across Staffordshire, Cheshire, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire. It's very difficult for apprentices to travel too far. They don't get the same type of funding or support as they do at universities. But what Capula want to encourage is to take the local talent from the local areas across Staffordshire, Cheshire, Shropshire even. And we've got people that live in all these environments where, we're taking those young people in, training them, giving them meaningful work, development, which is all part of our CSR strategy in terms of investing in the local county, region, town, etc. So Capula's got a big offer in terms of its CSR for younger people particularly.
And as well, the Capula offer is quite rare, isn't it? Because the apprenticeship is from level 3 up to level 6, but also permanent job from day one. Yeah,
that's one of the things that we've cut out. There's lots of employers that will only recruit apprentices on apprenticeship contracts for as long as the apprenticeship lasts, and then they'll make a decision whether they want to keep them on or not because it's a fixed term contract. Capula doesn't believe in that. We give a permanent day one contract. Our apprentices get broadly the same benefits as everybody else. Clearly, they don't get a company car day one, but they do get all the other benefits. So we pride ourselves on that, and we're one of the very, very few in Staffordshire that offer so many level 6 qualifications. That's degree level qualifications. So a BEng in electronic engineering. Get my words out in a minute. We do a BSc in digital solutions, we do a BSc in quantity surveying, and we do a BSc in project management. That is a very, very rare offer in Staffordshire, particularly. And you've got to go a long way to find anybody that will take on 15 or 20 apprentices, as we do every year, at that level 6. And of course, as you say, we do level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got some 7s now as well. So we've got a very, very thorough apprenticeship offer, not just for new starters, but yourself, Leanne.
Yes.
You doing your senior leaders course at level 7 is a fantastic thing. And, this is what Capula wants to do as part of the lifetime learning of everybody. It's not just to train people for Capula, but to train for life skills and, any other job that individuals may go on to in years to come.
And then thinking about the experienced professionals as well. They might be in a role at the moment where they're quite comfortable. They've been there many years. The thought of change can be quite daunting. What would you say to them to take that step and to explore opportunities at Capula?
Yeah, I think it depends on your own individual personal drives and anxieties and things like that. Change is inevitable. So I think one of the things that Capula, again, might appeal to an individual is if they've been in a business for 10 or 15 years, why would you want to move? Why would you want to make yourself uncomfortable and come to a different business when actually you're comfortable and set in your ways? And I think that depends on the individual themselves and their drive. Businesses are pyramids in a way. You need more people at the bottom than you need at the top. There's only one MD. And some people get comfortable in that, and that's their life, and they're happy because they have consistency and they know what they're doing day to day. But if you've got a little bit more interest in expansion and development and maybe going outside your comfort zone and doing different things, then Capula is the place for you because you can do that. And as we said earlier, we put a lot of trust and accountability into our engineers to take the lead to do these things, and we want them to do it, make decisions. And I think if that's what you're looking for and you've got that will inside you, then Capula is a great place for that because we will give you that freedom, accountability and responsibility to go and be the engineer that you want to be.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Steve. It's been great talking to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Capula podcast, The Ultimate Exchange, today. If you're looking to make a move and move to a company that really cares, please visit our website, which is www.capula.com. Thank you.